It's such a racket in Henry's room. Surprising that Frank doesn't come by and tell Henry to cut out all that noise. He hasn't. But Henry has the keys. He's going to be able to go talk to Frank himself. Let's open the door. Well, I actually, that was looking through the peephole. There's no one through the peephole. Let's use the keys. There we go. We use the keys of liberation. You know what kind of bothers me about scenes involving this door opening? Is that a door would not open that way. It would open inside into the room. It would not open outside into the hallway. And it does every time we see that door. In every scene where that door opens, it opens outside into the hallway. And it wouldn't. That's not how that would work. It would open into the room. See, Henry's gonna just push it open here. I mean, I guess that looks more dramatic. I mean, the reason that it wouldn't open outside is pretty obvious, because if someone was walking down the hallway, like, you don't want doors opening into the hallway, hitting the people who are walking into the hallway. Oh no, and it's a nurse monster.
Eileen?
Oh, it's just Eileen. There she is. Eileen's doing her thing. All right, Eileen, let's just take a load off, relax, and just rifle through our neighbor's porn collection. Eileen really doesn't seem motivated to get into the fight. I can't imagine why. I probably should go looking for health items. Oh, she's hitting herself. We haven't seen that yet. Yeah, when she's this low, when she's this damaged, sometimes she just starts hitting herself. Something we haven't seen is that when she's like this, sometimes she starts talking like a child. I'm actually kind of surprised we haven't seen that yet. There's the hole. Well, like I said, let me just okay, there's a sword if we wanted to sword a ghost. Of course we're not going to sword a ghost. Just trying to remind myself about if there might be any health items down here. Oh, hello, Cynthia. Anything in the kitchen? Doesn't seem like it. Health drink here, which is good. All right. Second floor landing, which might be a problem. All right, that's 2 down without a big group coming by. Okay, here comes the rest of the group. All right, we survived it. That one is that one's a bit tough. All right, I will take this. Gulp, gulp, gulp. Walter? Bad time, Eileen. Hold on, I gotta stomp him. Just a candle in here, I think. Yeah, there is. But I mean, there's nothing we could do with that, Eileen, right? We have no use for one of those candles. Oh, hey, Richard. Well, I guess he came back home. Let's see. There's bullets and the putter. Won't bother with those. Eileen, did you come out? Yeah, there you are. Oh, that's, there's Andrew. Oh, he's spinning. He's spinning. There it is. We didn't actually see that. Health is doing poorly. Boy's spinning. So yeah, he does have that attack, and it's a problem. So, odd thing about the PC version of the game is that as long as we're in this section, we will continue to hear little Walter calling for his dad. Now, okay, I really do need this. So that's not how it is in the PS2 original. In that, he just says it when we're in the initial hallway. And then stops. So get... Not in the PC version. So get used to this sound clip. Walter cannot see his face. Because he has no memories of Dad. Dad left when he was very young. Here's a notebook. Where's Dad? It's a sketchbook. There's the dad. He can't see his face. Eileen is going to stop right here. There is a med kit over there. Let us kill the wallman. Health is becoming an issue at this stage in the game. So I do need to collect as many health items as I can. There's the memory.
I told you we shouldn't have a baby, didn't I?
I mean, telling and doing are different things.
Oh, shut the hell up. You can't blame it all on me.
Maybe he said they shouldn't have had a baby, but they did, didn't they? Doesn't like the look of Frank.
Hurry up. Get back.
If it's an insult to call a baby a crybaby, because I mean, babies cry. Is that all 6? I think it was all 6.
Eileen?
Why won't Ah! 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 Henry? That boy. I have to help him.
So yeah, things are not going quite the same way for Eileen at this point in the game. I mean, she still comes to the conclusion that she has to help that boy, but her dialogue as far as she comes about the decision is pretty different. All right, Eileen. Let's have a look at this umbilical cord.
My head.
Mommy? Why did you leave me? I'm scared. I'm so scared. It's dark. I'm so scared. Mommy? 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 Are you asleep? Mommy? I'll wake you up. I will.
What the hell? So I guess it does make a bit more sense for her. She's going to where Walter is, and she is obviously completely possessed by this point. So her appearance in the final battle does make a bit more sense now. And of course, since we got the umbilical cord, it means it's time to head back to the room one more time. All right, let's do it. The clock is chiming, and of course, here's the drawing of Eileen. I mean, now we know what the big spiky ball in the middle of her is. It wasn't clear the first time we saw it. Actually, it's this way, isn't it? Yeah, there's the hole. Now, question really isn't whether or not we would be able to defeat Walter before she dies. The question is, would we even be able to get all the spears in before she dies? She has taken so much damage she's basically going to be jogging towards that thing. Well, I mean, not quite that fast, but she's not going to wait forever. She's not going to wait long. We go one more time. Any final hauntings? I guess the cat is still in the fridge. I was taking damage while I was standing next to that. Windows are still clattering. I hear the clock. Yeah, I can hear the cat. Okay, so something I would mention is that, correct me if I'm wrong, I think from after playing the PS2 version, I think there were 3 hauntings we didn't see. And there were a couple we could have seen in this playthrough. So I'll point them out. One is the bloody chair. You see the chair that's currently in the center of my vision? One haunting is that it's covered with blood. Not a spectacular haunting, but the blood would be on the chair. Another one would be Walter's portrait, in which one of the pictures in this room would turn into Walter's portrait. That one, I think, is not in the PC version. That one does not show up. That one, I think, maybe it's extremely rare, because over the course of this year, I have played through this game a number of times on the PS2. I never saw that one once. Not a single time. So I don't know how rare Walter's portrait must be, but I've never seen it. And the third one I'm thinking of is in here. There's a phone haunting where we hear a voice saying something like, "I'm always watching you." It's something like that. We never heard that one. This is an unhaunted phone. So, of the list of hauntings that you can look them up. You can look at what the official list of hauntings. We didn't see those 3. And I think those are the only ones. But as for right now, what we're going to do... we can put away the nightstick. Do some health. Let's see. What do I want to do here? Well, first, let me heal myself up all the way. There we go. No, weapons. No, weapons. Want the revolver. Bullets. Let's see. So I guess I have room for one more healing item. All right, and then I think I have 3 open spaces now. So like I said, we're going to do this, and Eileen is going to be walking very fast. And I doubt we will even be able to get all the spears in before she hits the center. I don't think it's possible to actually save her. That's fine, though, because we are going for the bad ending, which is Eileen dies and we don't cleanse the hauntings. So that is what we were going for here. No normal depression. Go head first into that depression. but it's not the final hole for some reason. This is the final hole.
Hey there, little Walter. Just a little longer now. Henry, you're it. The last of the 21 Sacraments. The final sign. The receiver of wisdom.
And then Henry proceeds to run away as fast as he can. And then spears appear. Yeah, look how fast she's going. Oh. Looking at that inventory. Yeah, I didn't even... I picked up the last spear at that point. There's just no way. There's no way you're gonna do it. Alright, time for the conflict with Walter, as we point guns at each other and shoot. And sometimes he will spin. He'll do his little spin. Sometimes. When he gets close enough. There it is, his little running spin. Oh, he got me with the spin as I was running by. Sideswipe spin. And there it is. Eileen is well and done into pieces by this point, and it is time for the worst ending.
My head!
Mom, I'm home. I won't let anyone get in my way. Gonna stay with you forever.
And now the news. Yesterday, in Ashfield and the woods near Silent Hill, the bodies of 5 apparent murder victims and a 6th severely wounded female were discovered. The woman was immediately rushed to St. Jerome's Hospital, but died a short time later of her injuries. She has been identified as a Miss Eileen Galvin of Ashfield. The last body discovered was found in room 302 of the South Ashfield Heights apartments. It is believed to be that of its occupant, Henry Townsend. The body was reportedly disfigured beyond recognition, making identification impossible. Once again, we've got late-breaking news. 5 unnamed police officers have been found dead for reasons unknown in the South Ashfield Heights apartments, along with its superintendent, Mr. Frank Sunderland. All other residents of South Ashfield Heights have been rushed to St. Jerome's Hospital, many complaining of severe chest pain. These strange incidents are similar to the ones which occurred in Silent Hill some years ago. More news to follow.
And there's the ending where we fail and Walter succeeds. That is what we just saw, the success of Walter's plan. That's what he's been trying to do the whole time. Little Walter gets to go back into the apartment and take a nap on the couch. And he's like, great, I'll be here forever. Adult Walter is just kind of standing by the peephole. He's just standing there. You know, he doesn't need to do anything. He's happy just standing there. And I guess the ideal purified version of the apartment, it was the fully possessed version that we saw at the beginning of the game when Joseph was killed. So, for whatever reason, it was necessary to kill 21 people, including himself, for Walter to make this happen, to fully possess the apartment, and for his split adult and child forms to be able to live there now. And I guess the evil power of this was so great that I guess the evil resonance waves spread throughout the apartment complex, killing Frank Sunderland and a bunch of cops investigating the murders, and a bunch of the other tenants have big chest pains and are going to the hospital. I guess these would be the tenants that we read about but never met, like Rachel the nurse, her boyfriend the artist, the guy who took the bloody jeans to wrap the body of the dead cat that he shot, the old woman who owned the cat. You know, remember them? They all got chest pains. Are they gonna die? Probably, because they're full of the evil. And that's the end. Walter succeeded. He gets to live in his mom, and I mean, it seems like there's some problems with the idea. Like, if so many people there die, and if other people can't move in because they get chest pains from the evil, I mean, no one's going to want to rent rooms from there anymore. It's going to go out of business. Eventually, they're going to call in the demolition crew to knock the building down, to, like, build a Walmart or something. And then what? And then Walter's going to be like, no, Mom, I finally was reunited with you. Now you're gone. Replaced with the TV section of a Walmart. Now he has to haunt that Walmart. Is that what Walter wanted? That's what's going to happen, I guess. So, I guess with the success of killing number 20, Eileen, and with the success of haunting the apartment and not being cleansed, I guess Henry's defeat of Walter didn't mean anything, and Henry died anyway. That's stretched. That halo of the sun is stretched horizontally, and it bothers me. It just bothers me. Anyway, playtime 318, saves 4, continues 0, enemies 133, memos 21 after 52, ending the 21 Sacraments, which is the worst ending. We got 7.3 stars. We don't need to save. Is this really okay? Sure. There is one more ending. We got 3 out of 4. Let me look. No, we would not be able to get that last ending with the save we just have, because there'd be no way to save Eileen, what with the all the damage she took. Okay, that would be it. You see, one of the endings is called Mother. We've not seen that yet. We've seen Escape. We've seen Eileen's Death. We've seen 21 Sacraments. The one we have not seen is Mother, which is, you do not cleanse hauntings, but Eileen lives. So let's see. I don't need the nurse costume. That's the nurse's uniform I mentioned. You find the nurse's uniform in Eileen's room, and then you complete the game and get an ending where Eileen lives, and then Eileen can wear the costume next time you play. Don't need that. Let's see. Don't need this. Not that. Nope, I wanted to get the revolver and the bullets as usual. And let's see, do I have an ampoule? Let me just check. I do not on this save. That's fine. I'm fully healed. So we'll take a med kit with us. We have 3 open slots. And, just wanted to see if that chair was bloody. It is not. Don't suppose the phone is doing anything.
I'm one.
There it is.
I'm always watching you.
That's the phone haunting.
I'm always watching you. I'm always watching you. I'm always...
Okay, at least we got to see that one. It's no normal depression. All right, let's fight Walter one more time. So Eileen, I believe, on this save file should be fully healed. I mean, time to find out. Let's just get the fight started. Use our umbilical cord. Well, you mean you know how this fight goes. You've seen it a few times now. Plunge that umbilical cord into the flesh of the conjurer. Then makes the spears appear. There's Eileen. She's taking her time. And there it is. Oh, I should mention the ending. It's not much different than what we've already seen, so prepare to be disappointed. And following the ending, I guess I'll just apologize in advance.
Thanks. Well, I guess I can go back to South Ashfield Heights now.
They're deep, deep in the forest night. Children dance the waltz. They laugh, whispering hand in hand. Oh, just like children like to do. Their eyes. What are they looking for? White dress flutters the beat. This song starting to make some sense. Yeah. Only if you're listening. Dance, dance like butterflies. Shadows appear right before my eyes. Sounds echo the absurd. Hard to explain something that I heard. Now, hear the forest talking insects and birds. Does the scent of soil and beast breathe the life into the animal you hide? It's a great illusion, one never knows. When you think you're really alone, feel the eyes of someone looking in on you.
And that is our final ending for Silent Hill 4, The Room. That was the mother ending, in which Eileen survives and recovers at the hospital, like in the best ending, Escape. But for whatever reason, she decides she's going to go live back at South Ashfield Heights. I don't know why. We also cut to a scene of the haunted version of Henry's apartment, illustrating that Walter's evil influence is still there because we did not cleanse any of it. So maybe Walter still has a shot at completing the 21 Sacraments. Maybe he still exists. Could possibly be. So it's kind of a weird ending. Why would Eileen want to go live back there? I don't know. But those are the 4 endings. with Escape, where we save Eileen and cleanse the hauntings. Eileen survives, and she decides she's going to find a new place to live. Walter's existence has been eradicated from South Ashfield Heights. In Eileen's death, the ending where Eileen dies, but we cleansed hauntings, Henry wakes up after killing Walter and hears on the radio that Eileen's body was found. In this ending, Mother, where we save Eileen but do not cleanse hauntings, Eileen decides she's going to go live back at the apartment building, and we see that Walter's evil influence is still there. And in the worst ending, the 21 Sacraments, Walter wins, Henry and Eileen die, Frank dies, a whole bunch of people die, and the rest of the tenants in the apartment maybe are having heart attacks, while young and old Walter finally rest inside of their mom apartment. Honestly, 21 Sacraments is the most interesting of the endings. Like all the other endings, a little bland. And of course, this game does not have joke endings. There is no UFO ending. There's no dog ending. There's really nothing like that. Henry can't transform into a magical girl. Why not? Why can Henry not change into Princess Heart? It's beyond me. But that is our last ending. So Silent Hill for the Room, what do we have to say about it? Well, Silent Hill for the Room is a game that whenever anyone talks about, they'll start off by saying it's a game with some good ideas. And you know the next part of that is that maybe it's not the best to actually play. It does take... It takes adjustment. It takes some adjustment to get used to how the game plays and how Henry moves and fights. It feels very different and very bad when you first try it. You do have to play it a lot to actually get used to it and to become, somewhat decent at maneuvering Henry and Eileen around. But once you do, it's actually not that game. It's not that bad to play. Once you get used to it, you actually become somewhat decent at it. It's an okay game to play. Very different plot. One thing I would say about Silent Hill 4 is that I probably said this before, is that they do go for something very different instead of rehashing the past, which you got to admire, because the games that will come in the future, all about rehashing that past. They love rehashing that past. So this game actually did try to do something different, but enough of that. It's time for some rehashing, as this was the last of the Japanese-made Silent Hill games. We go on from here to the Western games. Now, people talk about Japanese versus Western, but there is an important distinction to make. The Japanese Silent Hill games were made by an internal team at Konami Computer Entertainment Tokyo, I believe is what KSET stands for. The Western-made games were outsourced to external developers, and I do think there is a certain difference in priorities between a game that, a team internal to the company is making and a game that an external developer that you're contracting out is going to make. And maybe because the reason that you contracted out to the developers, maybe they're the lowest bidder. Maybe it's the whole reason is so you can get this game made for the least amount of money. Not that Konami would ever do such a thing. But when you consider that, maybe that's a bigger reason for why the future Silent Hill games turned out the way they did, as opposed to Japanese versus Western. There was definitely a change in priorities at Konami around this time. But this was the end of an era for the Silent Hill series, and the halfway point of the Silent Hill series, because if you want to look at the mainline series, there are 8 games. Silent Hills 1, 2, 3, 4. Then on the back half, Silent Hill Origins, Silent Hill Homecoming, Silent Hill Shattered Memories, Silent Hill Downpour. There are side games like Book of Memories and the arcade, the GBA play novel, and of course, the pachinko machine. So, well, patchy slot, I guess, would be the term. This is, as far as the main series goes, this would be the halfway point. I started going into this year. I really hated this game. But after playing it a number of times to try to get competent at it, I do like it more than I did. I don't find it to be the infuriating experience attempting to play it that I used to. So there's that at least. You know, I do have a new appreciation, perhaps, for aspects of Silent Hill 4, The Room. Will that also be the case when I play those Western games? I mean, actually, my most disliked game in the series is Homecoming. So eventually I'll have to play that again. Will I get a new appreciation for Homecoming? It's looking unlikely. Just to say that's unlikely, but who's to say? But of course, the next one in the series is Origins, so that's what we have to look forward to next. The game that was made for the PSP and ported to the PS2. The prequel to a game that did not need a prequel. That's what we'll be doing next year. This year, though, was about Silent Hill 4, the story of Henry Townsend, the black hole of charisma, which is weird because that really stands out next to Silent Hill 3, when you had Heather, who was the most outgoing and charismatic of the Silent Hill protagonists. Then you go to 4, and you get to Henry, and Henry stands in stark contrast. The story of Eileen and Heather and Walter. And if there is one thing I would say a positive about Silent Hill 4, I think it's nice. I think I do like that the whole story is about what story that we get is about developing this antagonist, because a lot of Silent Hill games are really more about cults and gods and, you know, the dark magic and all that. Whereas this game is less about that and more about, look at this Walter guy. You see this guy? He killed a bunch of people because he thinks his mom is an apartment, and he thinks he has to kill people to be reunited with the mom apartment. And like, it's a whole buildup of him, and then the last boss fight is, you know, you going one-on-one with him. It's a simple thing, but being, you know, an old pro wrestling fan, I do appreciate the simple buildup of, look at this asshole over there. You need to beat him up. I think the best stories can be whittled down to that. You gotta beat up that asshole over there. And I think Silent Hill 4 does that. I think you want to beat him up by the end. Whereas in other Silent Hill games, it's less about that kind of thing and more about, look at this god. Gotta bring forth God. Well, not sure what else to say about Silent Hill 4 The Room, other than I do prefer the PlayStation 2 version, even though it's an SD, it's 480i, and doesn't have the clarity of the HD version. I think there is a certain charm to those visuals. I do like the controls more since it supports the analog stick, and of course it has all the hauntings, whereas the PC version just does not have enough. And like, it's a lot of the interesting hauntings that are inaccessible. Like Henry through the peephole, that's not there. The bloody faucet, that's not there. The wall babies, if you have the doll, that's just not in here. The doll doesn't matter at all. Yeah, it's just it just seems like the hauntings that you can't get in the PC version are like the more interesting ones in general. So I would say that I would prefer to play the PS2 version, despite the GOG version being in HD, being in widescreen, and being easily accessible these days. Silent Hill 4 The Room, you may have noticed, was not part of the HD collection, which is weird. I know that there wasn't a high opinion of Silent Hill 4 compared to 2 and 3. Still, it was a PS2 game, like 2 and 3 were, and the thing was called Silent Hill HD Collection. 2 games, not that much of a collection. Like 3 games, okay. Now it's more, you know, we're getting towards a collection there with 3 games, but for whatever reason, they decided that this game was not necessary. I guess they figured no one was chomping at the bit for Silent Hill 4 on modern platforms. But Unfortunately, because it wasn't there, that means we never got an alternate voice track. You remember that? Silent Hill 2 and 3 had their voice acting re-recorded for the HD collection. If 4 was on that HD collection, we could have had alternate voice acting for everyone. Imagine Henry Townsend saying, "What the hell?" with someone else's voice. Like, what if it was Troy Baker? "What the hell?" You know, I can imagine that coming out of his mouth. "I received a letter from Joseph. He says we need to get down to the bottom of Walter Sullivan. Let's do that, Eileen. There must be something down there." It's what we missed out on. What we missed out on. Well, what could have been? What could have been? As far as any influence this game had, I do think that this game does have some influence on, like, on some modern horror games. When you look at the concept of it, and you can see how there's, like, some interesting ideas here to pick and choose from. I do think this had some influence, maybe more so than, you know, the later Silent Hill games. And some people feel like maybe PT in general was inspired by the first-person segments of this game. I don't know if that's true, but, you know, I could see people making that connection. This is strange music for the results screen, isn't it? I like the music here. It's a little strange for the tone, though. Anyway, I don't think I can really think of anything else to say about Silent Hill 4, The Room. I did say a bit about it when we finished the PS2 version. I did give some thoughts. And now that we played through it a second time, that was just to show you how differently this game can go if you don't fight enemies, if you just run right through it, you just blaze on through, don't cleanse any hauntings, and let Eileen just get completely messed up. Completely messed up. Different things can happen. But that's our second playthrough, and our last playthrough for Silent Hill 4, The Room. We maybe not everyone enjoyed it, but you'll never forget it. It is an unforgettable game. If nothing else, you can say that.